Welcome, everybody. This is No Skilled Required's podcast, episode 1, apparently. Last week, we recorded an episode. We wanted to get, who we are, why we're doing what we're doing. Turns out that's pretty crappy. So, basically, we're a group. We like watching Let's Plays and playing video games, so we've decided to do that. In the future, there might be more to us. Well, that's our hope. But as of right now, that's what we're doing. We have a podcast that we're doing. Right now it's audio. We're working on getting things so you can just download the audio. For right now, it's YouTube without video. In the next coming weeks, we should have actual video for this so you can see all our ugly mugs.
Hello. I'm beautiful.
Until then, this is what we got. If you like it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check us out on Facebook. If you don't, Alex.
Fuck you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
So with that being said, let's actually do something that's entertaining. So I guess to start with, let's introduce who we have with us today. It's we have Mr. Alex Kirby.
Hi.
Mr. Andrew Bama.
Hello.
And Mr. Beef and Cheese, Nick Federico.
Hey, everybody.
You suck, Nick.
Shut up, Nick.
And of course, Willie.
Oh, and me. I'm Willie.
Will, you're here too.
I'm the fat one. Alex and Nick are like father and son, and Andrew is the the giant. We shrunk him in the picture to make him fit in. He's actually like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, don't come to my beanstalk.
Yeah,
Just for me.
8.5 feet.
So, favorite game. That's what we decided we're going to start with today. So, Nick, what's your favorite game?
Gun to my head, my favorite video game would probably be XCOM.
Oh, of course. There it is.
Yeah, I know. And that's just because,
XCOM's great.
I can play it over and over again, and really, I play strategy games. I love the turn-based or real-time, whatever it is. But XCOM, I feel, it's just that blend where it's a kind of you have a macro, like a way zoomed out control of everything, but then you also have a very tactical approach in missions, and it just never gets old.
It's a good mix of real-time and strategy.
Yep.
With turn-based.
Never played it.
I played it because Nick told me it was good. I played it solidly for 2 hours and haven't touched it since.
Yeah, my girlfriend was getting into PC gaming, and Nick's like, "Oh, download this game." And I was like, "Did he tell you to download XCOM?" She's like, "Yeah, I bought XCOM. He said it was really good." I was like, "All right." I don't think she's ever played anything other than what Nick showed her how to play that game. So, I'm not saying the game's bad. I'm just saying that Nick recommends it to people he probably shouldn't recommend it to.
It's a really good game.
It's
a serious time waster, that game.
Oh, it's...
Sink infinite time.
Alright, Andrew, what's your favorite game?
Probably a favorite game of all time would have to be Ocarina of Time. It's on my arm, so...
Classic.
Yeah. Just gotta respect that one.
It's one of the top 5 video games of all time, period.
Oh, easily.
Unlike Nick's, XCOM's probably in the top 200, 250.
Maybe.
I mean, I really don't know where it's
9,000.
No.
There's a lot of video games. There's a lot of good ones.
Real high scores, real high reviews.
Oh, sure it does.
But how many reviews?
I mean, probably not as many as Ocarina.
Okay, well, I mean,
come on.
it is the benefit of being an N64 game. Which is like,
Really
everyone
high
had one.
reviews.
Yeah, you played it, and that's, Alex? Call of Duty?
No,
3,
fuck
4,
no.
5? Madden?
Madden. The
Mine's
newest
Madden 92.
The Madden that's not out yet is his favorite game.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite game. I like all Telltale games pretty much. I get really into those when I play them. Walking Dead Season 1 was fucking great.
Yep.
Yeah, masterpiece.
Really good.
Very good. Wolf
Season
Among Us
2
is really good.
but not as good as the first
I haven't
one.
played 2 all the way.
Wolf Among Us is really
2 was
good.
awesome.
Indian Wolf Among Us is really good.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones one is just...
I haven't played the game.
It's fun,
alright.
but you have to kind of be...
You gotta know Game of Thrones.
That's why.
You don't want to jump into it if you don't know anything about Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Same way with Tales of Borderlands. Though I hear you can play that and enjoy it for what it is.
You don't really need much from Borderlands.
That's supposed to be one of the best ones they've made. I've heard really good things about that game. I haven't touched it.
I haven't touched it. I saw the finger gun section of the game that I thought was hilarious. I have no idea who any of the characters are, but it seemed pretty good.
I only played the first 2. I need to finish that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess Batman's out now.
I
There's
need
Back
to
to
play
the
that.
Future
That first episode
and
looked really good.
Jurassic Park.
Those
and-
games are supposed to be not as great.
Yeah, those are supposed to be.
They want you to forget about those other
Yeah, I was like,
Telltale
I-
games.
until
But
I
then
really
like,
saw
didn't they bring
like,
them out? It's on the PS4 network.
Well, you
now.
can buy all
Yeah,
of them.
they
PS4.
re-released Back to the Future on its anniversary or some shit like that.
They had like a Sam and Max game too.
Yeah.
Who makes those anymore?
And then they have like Mahjong, right?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, it was did they have a
They have
card
a
game
poker
or something?
game.
A poker game, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool.
They tried to stay busy. Those guys.
Hey, money's money.
Yeah.
You gotta make
Sure
it
is.
whatever.
GTA 5 is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
That's a real
also.
good game. Yeah. I don't know.
That's one I always forget about, but it's
I don't
like,
know if
oh
I-
yeah, I love that game.
I like that game, but I don't think I would make it my favorite. It's like a masterpiece, and like I've played through it, and it's one of the games I've actually replayed through and enjoyed it as much the second time around.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like there's just a lot into it, and it's never really anything capture you all at once. It's like in whole, it's a good game, but like nothing just like, man, that's my favorite.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to say like a newer game would be like one of
Yeah.
my favorite games ever.
Yeah.
Just because they
Yeah,
have the
that-
benefit of being so new.
You have that
They-
nostalgia.
They have to be great.
It's like one of those. It's one of those things. Like 3 years down the road, maybe like you're like, man, that was such a good game. That might be my favorite game of all time.
I mean, The Witcher 3 would definitely be up there. That's
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my favorite
That
games.
game is
But I couldn't say it
amazing.
was my
Yeah.
favorite.
If you haven't played it, play it. Play it all the way through. It's worth it. Every minute, every hour you put in.
Still need to play that. I have it.
I haven't even.
You probably cut about
Slacking.
15 hours if you don't play the card game, but you should play the card game. 'Cause it's
Aren't they?
amazing.
They're releasing that as like a standalone
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, they are.
Gwent.
Went. Yep. You have like the card set, like the
Yeah, I have 2 of the decks.
yeah.
They're really nice. Really well made. They almost look as good as like Magic cards. Just not.
I'm trying to
laminated or
think
anything.
if any other game has had one of their just like mini games made into an actual standalone title. Like there's no one I can think of. I'm sure there are other ones, but
Yeah.
that game has to be like fucking immensely popular for them to release an entire standalone game and trust that it will do well.
Like other games have made like spin-off things before. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Fable 3 came out, they had the poker thing you could play or whatever to earn
Right.
money for the real game. But I don't know if I'd really count that. It's like a spin-off.
Yeah. I don't know.
So about you, Willie? What's your favorite game?
My favorite video game, I don't know, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I mean, something like that. Something I spent.
A lot of words
Tetris.
in that game.
Tetris, I've put hundreds upon hundreds. When I had a Super Nintendo, I got a Super Game Boy and Tetris because I had a Game Boy, and like I had a huge Super Nintendo collection, but I would always just sit and play Tetris. And
Always go back to Tetris.
I still play Tetris. Like I headphones in, music blaring, staring at the screen for 3-4 hours at a time. That's like legit, like mind-numbing puzzle game. Magical Drop 3. If you've never heard it, it's a Neo Geo puzzle game. It's really fun.
That would explain why I hadn't heard
Uh,
of it.
That's
I was like, what about 1 and 2?
Yeah, there's also one on the Neo Geo Pocket, if you've ever had one of those.
Pocket.
It's an amazing game. There's also a card fighting game on it's like Capcom versus SNK card fighter on the Neo Geo Pocket, which is like really balanced, really good game.
I never got a Neo Geo.
Yeah.
So.
This is like some hipster game.
I'll be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
I was a big Neo Geo fan, arcades, fighting games, stuff like that. So you get into the other stuff as well. And then the emulation. Back when I was in high school, it was really big. I don't know if it still is or not. And so you just, I have thousands of games to play. I'm going to play this one game. And so, other than that, I like some side-scrolling beat-em-ups like Final
Mighty
Fight.
Number 9.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9. And, JRPGs, Tales games. Tales of Vesperia is probably my favorite, even though I know Tales of Symphonia is like the Tales game. But I think Vesperia is really good. I put hundreds of hours in that. I'm surprised nobody said Skyrim. You all played that.
Well, I don't know.
Skyrim's fun, but
Oblivion was better.
I went back and played Oblivion recently. That game is really, really good.
yeah.
My thing with Skyrim is it's a time waster again, kind of like XCOM is, and you you can totally get like in depth and fucking like role play your character if you want to, but other than that, it's like
Nick does.
I'll tell you, the most fun I ever had with Skyrim was when I got tired of just going fast traveling everywhere, completing quests and buying everything. I set a new character up. And I said I'm gonna survive without like fast travel, and I'm gonna make sure I eat and sleep and do all this stuff. And like
Made
just
your own survival
adding that to the game made it more fun and made it more like careful. Like I kind of planned out what I was doing everywhere because, you know, if I wanted to travel across Skyrim, I had to figure out how I was going to get there.
No fast travel for Nick.
No, I really feel like games like that, it just kind of kills it.
It does to a point.
It takes you out of it.
But like, if you're trying to do stuff where like it's just mind numbing to walk back and forth.
Yeah, A to B.
Oh,
and B to
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
how many fetch quests are in Skyrim?
Oh, a ton.
So many.
Infinite. They actually don't end.
Yeah.
So
It's the same thing with Fallout 4 as well. It's just
Yeah.
there are literally quests that you cannot get off your like quest tab. in
got
your
no
Pip-Boy.
settlement for you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Witcher has quests that you just fucking can't do anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
oh.
broken.
That's so sad. Well, no, I'm talking about like you've surpassed that level, or like you've done something at
That's
some point in the
so
game
fun.
where you can't go back and do them anymore, and that's sad when you have like these red, like
Yeah,
oh,
failed.
God, man. The first one, there's like one where it's like the very first one that you figure that out is like you go in the field and you need to catch a guy before like these demons or whatever are killing to get something. And I let
I
that
failed
dude
that
die,
quest, too.
and I failed, and so like 3 quests in, I have a failed quest, and it's just hangs there the rest of the game, and it's just
Yeah, you just talk to that guy. He's like, "Can you help us?" You're like, "Sure," and you turn around and they're all dead.
oh man, it's awful.
Okay. Thanks, game.
Well, Fallout. My problem with Fallout is like there's a shit ton of those minimum quests with the settlements, but after you beat the game, you can't do them anymore, and maybe unless you're cool with them, which I did the Brotherhood of Steel ending, so they didn't hate me, but they hated me. Like every time I tried to talk to what's his name, fucking Preston.
Yeah, Garvey.
He's like, oh, we did what we were supposed to do, but you fucking killed everybody. And I was like, yeah, kind of.
You know.
So I mean, there's just like a shit ton in Fallout that it's like you just can't do now. It's like, oh, I have to play the entire game over again. Same way with like I was gonna achievement grind fucking Fallout because I was having so much fun with it, but then I realized that you have to get all 4 of the endings. So it's saying play through the game 4 times. And I was like, well, if I knew I was going to do that, I would have saved back at the point where you choose who you're with. And then, but I'm not looking to like play Fallout 4 times over and over again.
No. I like that. Like I thought I would like that game. Every time a Fallout comes out or someone starts talking about it, I'm like, man, that sounds amazing. I play it for 10 hours or so, and I'm like, I'm done with it. I don't know. It's just,
Fallout 4 was good.
It was.
I think Fallout 3 was just better.
I get sent
It's like they keep dumbing it down every time there's a new game.
Fallout 4 was everybody's major complaint, which wasn't really a complaint for me, was it's Skyrim reskinned as Fallout, pretty much. Which it was. And
It was, yeah.
personally, I don't have a problem with that because I fucking love Skyrim. So, I mean, I had fun with it, but then everybody else, not everybody, a lot of other people would just fucking bitch and whine about it.
Well, and they're kind of broadening their base. Like Skyrim did it first, and they realized how well it worked because Skyrim was, I'm pretty sure, the best-selling Elder Scrolls game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Even though like everybody I talk to says Morrowind is the best Elder Scrolls game, and so it's kind of like you have people who really appreciate the game, but then you have the vast majority of people who just want to play a quick adventure quest fetcher.
Yeah, they just keep making it easier, so it's not like a super.
So it's easy to jump
complicated-
in for anybody.
It's not that deep. Just you pick your perks.
You don't have to figure out how to work all the mechanics and. I mean, Morrowind, they put you in like there's no direction.
None at all.
You
I
get off a
start.
boat. You get off a boat, and it's like,
I'm
I'm gonna go that way.
I was
you can
gonna,
pick up forks.
I was gonna replay all the Elder Scrolls games leading up to not
It's a lot of
one,
games.
like the
not
first-
1 and 2 because I don't have 1 and 2. I don't know if you can even get those.
They're on Steam.
Are
I'm
they?
Sure.
Yeah, but
Like
they're
Arena and
Arena and
Redguard?
Daggerfall.
Arena and Daggerfall.
Daggerfall. Yeah.
But I have I
Willie
have,
throws his hands up.
I have Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, and I was gonna play all 3 of them before Skyrim's release.
The Daggerfell map. I don't remember the exact, so I'm not going to say anything exact, but I want to say it was
It's huge.
like many times bigger than Skyrim.
Oh yeah, it's ginormous.
I mean, it was absolutely huge.
that's really fucking stupid considering how old that game is and the fact that it's the biggest map of any of the Elder Scrolls games.
Well, the graphics aren't as good,
Well,
so
yeah.
they had more room. Like
Didn't have
Diablo
render.
2 is a huge game compared to like Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Just because it doesn't look nearly as good. They got more room for map memory.
Morrowind, it really does not help you at all. It's like, hey, you're here now, play. I'm like, okay. So I like tried to start playing it, and like 4 or 5 hours in, I stopped. So I don't know. It's what when they announced Skyrim re-release, the main thing I saw Elder Scrolls fans bitching about was should have been a Morrowind re-release, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, that would have been pretty cool actually, because then I could have actually played it. Maybe
Still a lot more work than this problem.
yeah,
Like,
because Skyrim they literally like.
They
Oh,
just
we'll
took the
tweak,
PC
we'll just
mods
tweak
and
like
put it
5
in the
things.
game.
Yeah.
They release it for $60. We fucking got their money. And Morrowind's like, oh, we
You'd have
have
to
to put in
find
a
a-
lot of work.
You'd
start
have to
from the
find
ground up on
another
Morrowind.
engine.
Oh, yeah.
You have to redraw it.
They'd have to recreate the entire.
I mean, that's what.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be
Final Fantasy VII
Elder
remake
Scrolls
is
6.
having the same thing. People like we want Final Fantasy again, 7 again, and they're like, all right. But reality is the amount of work they're gonna have to put in just to remake that game.
Might as well just make a whole new game.
Make it a
like they're
whole
doing.
new game, and so that's what they decided to do.
Mhm.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Episodically, we don't know. They're saying
Unclear.
each episode might be full-length game, so that's how that is.
That would be cool.
I think they're going for like a Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 7 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they can just expand the story.
It's a retelling of the story too. It's like what some of the rumors are. Or like famous deaths might not happen. So
I wonder.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
Really.
don't want to give away that spoiler from what 98, 98.
97, I think.
Yeah.
And I still haven't played those games.
I was in middle school. And I remember like Attitude Era Pro Wrestling, Final Fantasy 7s on like commercials and like
Everyone's losing it.
everyone. Yeah.
I wonder if people will bitch about episodes with that game. Because, like,
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. They're
Well,
already doing it.
Because when Hitman released, everybody, I mean, it was a shitstorm.
Disaster.
It was a shitstorm. People were livid with the fact that that game was episodic. But then, like, Telltale does it. People are like, oh man, I can't wait for the next episode. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You get 2 hours of gameplay.
Because
max
Telltale's
out
always
of
been that
Telltale.
Yeah.
Because you pay Telltale's what $25 and you get all the episodes,
Well, yeah.
and
Yeah,
Hitman you
season
pay.
pass or whatever.
you
Well,
pay
Hitman, you're
$80
still getting new episodes, and
and
it's
you
been
get
pretty
new episodes.
consistent.
Yeah, they just killed Gary Busey.
Yeah, you got to hunt down fucking Gary Busey.
But that dude has like brain problems, so is that really that hard?
No. Well, it
It
was
looks pretty hard.
It was pre-motorcycle.
Pre-motorcycle Gary Busey.
Yes.
Like he's Buddy Holly in that movie.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
Gary Busey. All right.
He didn't look like a fucking monster, like fucking sloth
Dude,
out of the Goonies.
He like got those teeth remade and everything, and just are so huge and like.
Sitting there talking to himself in those Amazon commercials.
Hey, he's not talking to himself. He's
Gary
talking to
Busey
his
likes
thing.
TV.
All right, so everybody's favorite game. What are some games or like series that you just completely missed and probably will never get a chance to go back on?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy is pretty easy though because you can just pick a game and play it. But like Mass Effect, I played
Me
like
too.
the first 5 hours of the first game and stopped, and now I'll never go back and play
Missed
that.
out.
Yeah,
They should re-release that. That would be awesome.
I'm sure they will, but I don't know if I would have put in the amount of hours needed to go through that.
I played the
That's
first
fair.
Mass Effect. I loved it. I played it all the way through, and I think I even did the when you can kind of do like a plus save. You go back through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that, and then I loaded up Mass Effect 2, and I played like halfway through it, and I was like, I'm just not enjoying this.
Yeah.
And I stopped.
Like, Mass Effect 2 is like the best one.
Well, that's what everybody said, but I was like, I preferred the system in Mass Effect 1 where it's more of an
old school.
RPG and less of a shooter.
That's true.
I played 20 minutes of Mass Effect 3, put it down, never touched it again.
But I'll probably play Andromeda when it comes out.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I missed Dragon Age 2 and 3, and I picked up Inquisition and pretty much.
That is 3.
Is that 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You missed 1 and 2? Or did
1
you
and
play
2?
the
Did you
first
play
one?
Awakening?
The Awakening. I did. I
Or-
played the first one, and then there was like an expansion.
Yeah, it was Awakening.
And then there's a second.
And then
Okay.
Dragon Age 2, and then Inquisition.
Oh, Inquisition. Well, whatever.
But
I
he
mean,
missed one.
I know BioWare does that thing where you can go in and pick the path that you want to choose leading up to that game, which takes a couple hours, but I mean that does
you set up your story how you
because
want.
I played Inquisition just with the default of whatever they want, and it's pretty good. But
If you pick a lot of the good endings for
if
you.
you go in there and you tweak things, it's different. Like
Way
some characters don't like you.
They could not even be there.
Yeah.
They could be
And
dead.
it's pretty cool with that. So that's really nice of BioWare to do that. But I probably won't go back and play Mass Effect. I might at some point go and watch like this fucking game so I know what's going on. So what's some other Red Dead Redemption? Never played that. Any of the
you
Red
didn't miss
Dead.
anything.
There's a lot of like GameCube games I never played, like Metroid Prime series. I've seen those games played. I've never played Resident Evil 4.
Well,
That's a good game.
I know.
it's coming out the end of the month.
Yeah.
PS4.
That's a good game.
I don't
You're
remember
picking
which
that up.
Resident
Resident
Evil
Evil was like hard to play, and like you played it just because it was like, oh, I'm playing Resident Evil, and you just kind of dealt with it. But then like 4 came out, and you're like, this is how it should have always been.
Yeah.
This is how every game should always be.
So many games are built on Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
It's like Last of Us is so
It's-
Resident Evil 4.
Well, I think Heavy Rain reminds me of the old Resident Evils, at least. Just the way where
the limited
The
camera.
corner
camera.
camera.
yeah.
That's
Which
a game I missed out on.
You know there's
Yeah.
something behind that wall, but you can't fucking
It's like
literally
I cannot walk around this fucking wall.
Yeah.
I'm pushing the analog stick every way I can.
Yeah.
He won't walk that way.
So-
You know, for me, a big thing was I didn't grow up with Nintendo. And so, like, I know you guys know I was recently kind of going through, like, on an emulator, trying to play, like, the first Zelda and the original Mario and the original Metroid because I'd never played them. And so...
I've played Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. That's the only ones I've played.
I'm trying to
Not
go
bad.
from the...
I love Twilight
franchise.
Princess.
I didn't play any of the N64 ones, so Ocarina of Time I haven't played. It came out on GameCube, like with a collection.
That's how I
didn't
played
play it then either. So
I
know,
have both of those. Got it on N64 and on GameCube.
I
Master Quest.
have Ocarina on my 3DS, the remastered one.
you guys are doing the Halo videos. I've never played Halo.
What?
I've played a couple of multiplayer matches in college, but people were super excited when the games would come out, and I was like, eh.
Halo's fun.
Gears of War.
I loved Gears of War. That game came out and man.
Yeah, it was like,
Gears
Gears of War.
We've got the Gears of War Xbox.
I bought the Gears of War Xbox and bought it just for the Xbox, and it was the cheapest one, so that's why. I mean, I got a game with it, so
I played a decent amount of 3, but like I just got thrown into the story and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. This game's fun, but I don't know what's going on.
Gears of War 1, the campaign was like a ton of fun. I played that on Insane a couple times through. And then Gears of War 2 was really good. And the multiplayer for 2 was a lot better. 1 multiplayer was kind of rough to play. Because if you want to play split screen, it was basically just be one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because that was...
Alright.
And with 2, they added bots. You could play online a lot easier. Because by that point, Xbox Live was a lot more easier to play on. And then... I never played 3, and I don't know what they did. Like,
is 3 the Judgment? No, is that the new one?
that's the
Judgment's
new
the
one.
new one.
3.
Nick, you never played Grand Theft Auto.
That's true. That's true. I
That's
never played
huge.
any of the GTA games.
Have you ever played any of the PlayStation, like PlayStation 1 GTA, the top down?
I have.
Those
I've seen
are-
it.
They're
I've seen
awful.
In Legends.
They're awful. There's like a British expansion one that I was like in 7th grade, and I bought it, and it was just, it looked cool because like they had a stand, and it's like a James Bond like dude and like a James Bond chick in like leather
Nice.
one
Sounds
one
awesome.
piece, and then I got home and it's like,
It looks like a Game Boy game.
yeah. So, but then Vice City, that changes everything.
You all missed out on Call of Duty.
I played
Those great
those
games.
way after they came out.
You see,
I played a few Call of Duties.
No, I played I was huge into Call of Duty. When Call of Duty 2 was the
Yeah.
was the game. And then 3 came out, sort of, kind of, because it was a different company.
Yeah.
And I played 3, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as fun as 2.
Who
And
did
then
3?
Modern Warfare came out, and I was like, oh, that's neat. I kind of like the World War II shooter. And I tried playing Modern Warfare, but then I just was not like by that point I missed kind of the leap, and so I couldn't play multiplayer. I jumped into a game and it was like this
Got
is
shut down.
This isn't fun.
Oh man, that's the problem with that game. Like people who've been playing it, like it's hard to adapt. It's like Destiny was the same way.
Hard.
Yeah, it's just really fast paced.
It's really hard to jump into something that's been around for a while. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I get shut down for it.
I didn't start playing Call of Duty multiplayer until Black Ops 2, and I was awful, just terrible at multiplayer when I first started playing that game. Even though like I played the campaign on like hardened, which I thought was like fucking awesome for me at the time. But like I got into multiplayer and I was like, people are fucking good at this game. So I sat down. That's the only Call of Duty I reached Prestige Master in. So I Prestige I guess 11 times, and then I fresh started and I'm Prestige like 4 or 5 now I guess. So I probably
putting the work in.
I probably put close to 16 days of gameplay into Call of Duty Black Ops 2 multiplayer.
16 days.
Yep. Which is microscopic compared to my Madden gameplay. But I just... Black Ops 2...
Not to brag or anything.
Yeah, I played a shit ton of Madden. But my Black Ops 2 experience is what allowed me to get better at that game. Because I just played it constantly. And then you just adapt. You know how to... You get twitchy. Like, you realize, like, when you play, everyone's like twitching all over the place, and you're like, how the fuck are they seeing me like that? But you get used to it. You're like, oh, that's how. And you start killing people. Object of the game, pretty much. Yeah.
I finally get it. You kill people.
I didn't know how to play this game until now.
You know, I don't like multiplayer. I get like super nervous. But then I play fighting games where it's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And like I've been to fighting game tournaments where they're like no room to move. They have like box fans just trying to cool everybody off because
It doesn't work.
Because people stink. That's the truth of it.
Yeah. A lot of gamers just,
and
don't do that.
You're fine, and I'm fine in that setting. But like sitting down and like, hey, there's gonna be like 18 people playing with you at this point, and I'm like, I'm gonna be the worst guy, and I'm gonna suck. And I don't want to get yelled at by like an 8-year-old who's like 100 times better than me.
You suck, nerd! That's the best part about playing online. It's like the fucking 6-year-olds. It's like, how do you have Call of Duty? She's
like,
rated M.
You're not even old enough to play this game.
Shut up, pussy!
If you're on a
Oh,
couch,
shit.
yeah, if you're on a couch playing at a 5-year-old and he beats you, you're like, yeah, no one's gonna know this.
I quit.
And I can beat you up in real life. But if I'm on like online, it's like I can't. If I say anything, they're gonna know I'm a grown ass man.
I usually just win in the match, mute everybody,
Oh, yeah.
and just go for it.
That's Black Ops 2 was revolutionary for Call of Duty because they added the X button. It's the mute all button. You just hit the X button, everybody's muted. You don't have to listen to anybody fucking talk.
Because you used to have to go X down, X down, X
Yep.
down, X down.
You just
And
had
everyone
you
was
had to go
muted.
through every player and mute them. And that was every game. But they just
Unless they
added,
stayed in the game.
they added
They
the
were
mute
still
all.
muted.
I just hit that X and boom. I don't have to listen to any 12-year-olds yelling at me about.
Doesn't that make it hard to like plan
Nope.
as a group, or is that
You
not?
don't- you don't-
A lot of
do
guys
that
just
shit
don't
in Call of
accord
Duty.
it.
does that.
You don't do that. All right.
You do that. You do that in Overwatch. You do that in CS:GO. You don't do that in Call.
Not
of Duty.
really a team-based game.
I see. Like I said, I don't play online.
People be like, "Thank God you all died. Now I can clutch it."
Yeah, seriously.
I
Well,
prefer more team like focus.
That's
games.
why I like Overwatch a lot. 'Cause I don't really talk a lot, but I still have like
Someone's
I
telling
listen.
you what to do.
I listen and somebody's like, hey, they're over here. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go over there.
Yeah, I'm on it.
And it helps. I mean, your team gets exponentially better when you're actually communicating, but nobody does that shit.
I for multiplayer purposes, I like games where it's cooperative or where everybody has like a defined role. That's kind of why I played so much Payday 2
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Nick just wants to be a medic. He just wants to come and help people.
Actually,
That's
Nick,
what I
not,
play
not
Overwatch.
usually. I play. Well, I guess it kind of depends. Usually, I play like tanky or frontline. So
Yeah.
I'm overly aggressive in games like that.
Aggressive.
Well, that's what I love about Overwatch. I'm just gonna go on about Overwatch. What I love about Overwatch is I'm usually like when I play Call of Duty, I almost always run an SMG, and I'm just running around being as fast as I fucking can, killing people. But in Overwatch, it gives such a good variety, and the way they balance the characters, you can be good at every single character in the game. You can be a great tank, and you can also be a great medic, and you can also be great just fucking running in there and killing people. It's crazy how balanced the game is, and how I feel like a 10-year-old could pick it up and be just as competitive as anybody else. I mean, of course, they're good players, but it caters to everyone.
Might have to play Overwatch at some point.
It is great. I love it.
That's probably one of those games that I never played.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Overwatch.
Like, I really wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 5, and now it's to a point where it's like, maybe at some point, but...
It's another series I've not played any.
Yeah, I did miss out on like all Metal Gear, but I feel like I didn't really miss much.
Yeah.
So.
I never played the Metal Gear game.
I mean, I'm sure they're good games.
They're
Just
good.
like,
They had their moments in time. Like, for what they were really good. Like, crazy shit happening that you can't figure out where they're telling you your save state's ruined.
Yeah, I know, they do cool stuff. It's like, I know in that one game is that boss fight where you have to like plug a controller into the second player. You can't even beat him.
Then Snake Eater, you just turn the game off and wait for the boss to die because he's old. You
Not
wait.
natural causes.
If you because the PlayStation memory time
Internal clock.
internal clock, yeah. If you wait 20 hours, he just dies of old age. And you go over there and pick up a sniper rifle. And
That's hilarious.
There's cool shit in there.
Like they fake glitch your game at one point,
Oh,
and you
absolutely.
just have to wait, and then it fixes.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. Like at one point, you're like going down this tunnel, and the guy who like calls you to give you missions just starts glitching out. And he's like, just reset your game. Reset your game right now.
And you're like, okay.
It's like, and by that point, you're like, man, they do this stuff. Do I need to reset my game? I don't know.
Yeah, it's all Kojima, right?
Kojima, yeah.
Just being a weird innovator.
Yeah.
It's like, make them plug in another controller.
Take that.
He's
That'll
he's what's
show 'em.
the opposite of what with the Americans who are super into Japanese stuff. We call them what
Weeaboos.
Weeaboos.
Yeah.
He's like that, but for the U.S.
Yeah.
And
Like
Little
he's
weebs.
he's super into American culture.
Yeah.
And so
Wait,
he
who
makes
Kojima?
most Americans, right? We all try to be
America. Go Olympics.
America.
So I drink tea and eat crumpets. I'm really into British culture.
You will.
I just found out today that in Britain, some people will use the word tea to mean dinner. Like
Oh.
you have tea time or tea time.
Tea time.
That means like when you're gonna go eat dinner. I didn't fucking know that until today. But there was like a whole Facebook video about people, British people arguing. It was like, no, it's called dinner. No, it's called tea time.
No, you
I
will.
thought tea time was an actual thing.
I
where
thought tea
you
time was
sit
a
down
separate
and have-
event where you had tea.
Sit down. and
To
have
me, tea time is when am I going golfing? Because
Oh, God.
no, seriously, your tea time's at like fucking 9 a.m. It's
That's
like,
what,
okay,
it's got
sweet.
two. That tea time has two e's.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different.
It's a tea time. We're talking about tea time.
Tea time.
Oh, pardon me.
Nice.
Say what you mean now.
Warm cup of tea with a
Golf club.
Yeah.
5-iron.
All right. Besides video games, there's movies. Everybody has a favorite movie, and then what's some movies that you missed? TV series as well.
Movies and TV series,
Nick's missed
anything
everything.
Marvel's done.
Nick's also missed like every
Anything that's
great
happened in the
action
last like
movie.
5 years.
Nick, did
He
you
does
see
it-
movies?
And anything that happened in the last 45 years before those 5 years.
He's never seen the Predator series, Terminator.
I saw Predator 1.
Oh.
I saw Terminator 2. No, 3.
Electric Boogaloo.
You
saw
saw Terminator 3?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh,
It was on FX or something.
so
Back
you
when I
watched
had
a
cable.
a television cut of a movie.
Yep. That was back when I had cable. And I just watched TV.
It's like, oh, the only Matrix I've seen is Matrix 3.
Oh
Fuck
God.
Get out of here.
I've seen I saw the first 2 Matrix movies.
Good.
You didn't see the third one?
I did not see the third one.
You seen
What?
Pulp Fiction?
I saw Pulp Fiction. Good.
Hadn't seen Full Metal Jacket until he was at my place, and I sat
That's a
down
great
and watched
movie.
it.
That was good though.
Well, all those movies we mentioned are good. Conan the Barbarian is a great movie. He's never seen it, and he's super into fantasy and shit like that.
Yeah, I probably would enjoy that.
I mean, if I went over all the movies that I missed, we'd be here a while.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing with me, so join the club.
I mean, Predator. I saw the first Alien, I guess. Didn't see any of the Terminator movies. I've missed so many movies.
Making fun of me over here.
For me, it's like, maybe not necessarily. And I guess for
you didn't. Some of you
I
guys
wasn't
haven't.
alive.
You
I
haven't
wasn't
missed
alive.
these movies.
I didn't miss them. I just wasn't born yet.
No excuses, Alex.
All right.
Go watch
Sorry.
fucking Terminator.
I have seen them.
I'll say that I missed them because I had older siblings,
Yeah.
and they all watched movies and shit all the time. So yeah, I miss it.
Did you watch Avatar, the movie?
Yeah, Last Airbender.
Yeah.
That movie was
That
terrible.
movie was awful.
so bad.
I was so pissed because that was my favorite fucking show at the time.
I've never seen that show.
It's fantastic.
I know.
Really good.
I
And
heard it's fantastic.
Korra's supposed to be pretty decent as well.
It's not as good, but it's still pretty good.
I didn't really watch Avatar: Last Airbender. I didn't see the movie of that show, and I didn't see the Avatar movie.
And
What?
Nick was so disappointed because he's a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan. Like, The Village is his favorite movie.
I do like
I've
that.
seen The Village.
I do like that
I
movie.
saw The Village in theaters after one of either Ebert or Roper ruined the ending of that movie. He's like, you're going to go in 5 minutes in, you're going to figure out who's the monster.
Yep.
Here's who it is. It's a no-brainer. And I went in, and I was like, I don't know if I figured that out in 5 minutes or it's just because he told me.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie was
1 out of 4
god-awful.
stars. Yeah, he hated that movie. I like that movie. It's okay. I mean, it's shitty, but it's okay. It's one that you can enjoy.
It's better than the Tree Killer movie.
The Happening?
Yeah, that movie's awful because it's not only a bad movie, but it also
I didn't see that
has
movie.
what's his name in it, Mark Wahlberg.
That's
Acting.
one I've always heard is terrible.
Is that the one where people are just like running off the roofs?
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Dude's like driving a tractor, some trees start blowing in the wind, and he jumps off the tractor and jumps under the blades. I mean, there's cool shit in there, but it's just awful.
Are you going to spoil that movie, or should we leave it alone and let everybody watch it?
Well, the trees are the bad guys.
Well, yeah.
I just said that.
You didn't.
I was gonna watch
Spoiler
that.
alert!
How old is that movie? Like,
Oh,
like,
no.
like,
You know-
like 8 years.
yeah, it's
Someone, I don't know. Someone in
You
the
know
last
what?
decade.
I'll say 8 years after the movie comes out, you can spoil it.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I mean, a couple months is reasonable.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean,
If you want to see a movie, you don't want to spoil it, just go see it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just chose not to see it, you can't really
Fuck
complain
you.
if it comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
it's a good point.
And spoilers don't bother me that much. Like
I
unless
don't
it's
care at
like
all,
a
usually.
spoiler, like to like something I've really anticipated for months.
You'd be real mad if
And
somebody
I'm
ruined
like,
it. If
I'm
somebody-
I'm gonna enjoy that still, but just not as much.
What's in the box?
You don't think
man?
you'd be upset if somebody spoils Song Ice and Fire?
Oh no. Like people were like avoiding the last season of Game of Thrones for that. I watched it. Like
Eventually.
it's like the Hodor thing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold the door.
I was like, oh, well, that'd have been cool to read that in the book, but I might have struggled to figure out what the hell he was saying. So,
I imagine he'll find a way to make it
Well,
sneak up on you.
well,
when
he
you read
said
it.
that like he said that it wasn't like exactly the same. You know, they're different universes now, so
Yeah.
don't be.
They
afraid.
made that pretty clear
Yeah.
that they're separate with kind of the same source material.
Have you had anything spoiled for you that you were just pissed off about? Some milk.
Spoilers. Some milk.
It's like, God damn it! Who left the milk on the counter for a day and then put it back in the refrigerator?
I don't drink
Spoilers. I don't really get upset with spoilers, but the time that I really it sticks out to me was when you spoiled Red Wedding for me because
I
Ooh.
spoiled so much of A Song of
Because-
Ice and Fire to Nick because he wasn't reading it, and as I was reading it, I would just tell him about everything.
Yeah, so like Game of Thrones was like the season was coming out, and I was like, I don't really care to watch it. I don't really care. Whatever. And so people were watching it, and it was apparently a big deal, and I wasn't really into it. Willie was reading it, and I was like listening, and I didn't know what was going on. He would tell me about stuff, and I didn't know characters or anything
Yeah,
really
it
about
was
the-
all just
the story.
stuff.
But then like a couple years later, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna start reading this, and he's like, yeah, okay. And he lets me borrow the book. I go out and buy the books myself, start reading through it, and I'm like, man, I don't remember a whole lot from what Willie told me, but I remember this one chapter he was telling me about. And then as I'm reading the book, I'm like, man, I really know what he was telling me about, and I know where it's going, and I don't really want to read this now.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, that being said, that chapter is still, like, gripping to read.
I've heard
Spoiler.
like, reading it doesn't really compare
They
to
killed the
watching
King of the North, Robb Stark,
I'm still reading that book. Come on. I'm like
and
12 pages in.
in like one of the most intense scenes. Like you've read thousands of pages, and you get to this point, and it starts building, and there's like a band that's playing horribly, and it's getting louder, and you can feel the tension of like the crowd in the room, and you're just getting more into it. You know something's going on, and then it just hits, and it's like heart pounding, and you're just like, as soon as you're done reading, you're like, I have to go back because I don't think that just happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's the book.
And that's the
Yeah.
book.
Like, I mean, watching
even
the
watching
show.
it's like that. You're just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
But-
it just happens before you kind of realize it, and then all of a sudden you're just like, it's too late.
It's like,
You're
oh,
just
this
like,
is
oh my
happening.
god.
Well, from the bit of the book that I did read, I found myself getting farther into it and then going, wait, what? And then going back and rereading it again to try to understand it. And then that was my problem with the book, because I kept going back because there's some parts I just couldn't grasp because I'm a fucking idiot. But like,
They're also really detailed.
it is.
Yeah.
It
The
is.
first book's a
He
lot
throws
harder.
everything.
The
at you.
first book is hard because they start and they throw like 5 character names at you and all this shit, and you're just like, I don't know anything about this. Why are you telling me this?
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
throw,
you're just
all the
you're in.
Stark kids at you,
Yep.
and all the Starks, all at once.
You really just have to kind of read it and know you're going to miss stuff, and just kind of hope that you can remember next time you see it.
Dude, I read War and Peace when I was in high school, and that's the same situation where there's just characters thrown at you, except all the names are Russian. So Game of Thrones and all the Song of Ice and Fire shit was real easy because those names stick better than like 12-syllable names that sound the same as this character, and like I'm not sure if that's the same name and it was hard, but yeah, Song of Ice and Fire. I spoiled that for Nick. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, every big thing I would come in and tell him.
I didn't remember enough of it, so I got to kind of experience it the first time, but
it's not
Red
the
Wedding
same.
was definitely,
It's
I
not the
remember
same.
that detail.
Because, yeah, I read that at 2 o'clock in the morning, and
It
just
seems to be when everybody read that.
did
that I've
not
talked
stop.
to. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was like midnight, and I just couldn't sleep anymore.
Anything spoiled for you, Alex? TV shows, movies?
I mean, some Grey's Anatomy stuff by my girlfriend, but other than that,
Grey's
I know
Anatomy.
you were really broken up about that.
it was.
You were really into
it
that
was
show.
a little bit at the time.
Seen one episode. It was the one after that Super Bowl. Where
Yeah,
there was like
I told you about that episode. I was like, oh, I like that one.
That was the
Like,
only
that's
one
the
I've
only
ever
one I've
seen. Yeah.
They got a, what was it? It was a bomb inside the body,
And
and they were holding on to it.
and like the ambulance driver or something.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know that episode. They like wheel him through, and
Yeah.
like they hit the bump, and everybody freaks the fuck out.
Oh
But
yeah.
nothing happens. It's all good.
Because they played that after the Super Bowl. A lot of people
Yeah.
watched that because they didn't turn the fucking Super Bowl off.
My mom and my sister watch Grey's Anatomy,
Oh.
so I think I've seen like every episode twice somehow.
Nice.
I've seen every
Same with
episode
Gilmore Girls.
of Boy Meets World.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Going back.
Way back. Not way back.
What else have I seen every episode? Have you ever seen anything like every episode?
Every
of this?
episode? Oh, a few things.
There's
Uh,
a lot of stuff now. There's a lot of stuff
Full
now
House.
because like Netflix and Hulu, but like I've seen every episode of Boy Meets World from the television. Now I didn't go back and watch streaming services.
No, it-
I watched that
as
shit
it
when-
happened.
Yeah. Family Matters was the same way up until like the last couple seasons.
I love
Even
that
Stevens.
Even Stevens.
Oh my
Stevens.
god! Before Shia LaBeouf was insane,
Mm.
kinda.
show. I
Yeah, he's always been a little.
He was the, yeah.
I watched every episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender like on TV.
Oh yeah.
But that's like the only one I can think of. That's like, I watched every one of those on TV.
Oh,
when it
Sons of
came out.
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy, yeah.
That
first
70s
two-
show for me.
That 70s. I've seen that a couple of times all the way through.
Yeah.
A lot of Nicktoons like Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats.
Yeah.
Rugrats ran for 10 years, and those 10 years were from like the time I was 6 to 16. So I've seen like every Doug, even
Doug.
when it transitioned to
Patty
ABC.
Yeah.
Skeeter Valley.
Banging on a trash can.
Tiny Toons.
That song will get stuck in my head randomly.
It will.
Dude.
It comes out of nowhere.
At work, somebody started singing that, and like people joined in and got to a point where then everybody forgot what the lyrics were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After about like the third line, you're like, good show, right?
Patty mayonnaise. Doug is
Doug.
so smooth that first episode. He steps on that ketchup packet, and that shit lands perfectly on her burger. Man, what an impression!
What a classic show.
That's one of those shows I always remember being on, but like I could not tell you a fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
What?
Like,
Because
I
there's
was
can't
always
remember a
on.
single
Nothing
episode.
ever goes on in those shows. He's just like this overactive imagination, like preteen kid, who writes in his diary.
Did y'all ever watch Chalk Zone?
Chalk
Oh,
Zone.
A little bit.
I
I've seen
love
some
that
of it.
show.
Dude, Chalk Zone was the shit.
Yep.
You ever see Wienerville with Mark Wiener?
No, I'll be honest, I haven't.
Wienerville was awesome. It gave us
Wienerville.
Action Team Now, which was like a stop motion like action figures, but they were all like dollar store action figures.
Well, thank
Just
God.
running around.
Uh, I can't say I've seen any of that.
Never heard of that.
Nickelodeon in my day was a very strange place.
Oh, was this
That was
show?
before they got rid of Gak.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever see this show called like Mr. Meaty? It was on Nickelodeon.
I
It was
feel like I
fucking
know the
disturbing.
name.
It was disturbing.
Wasn't it
I don't
like
know.
Here's Mr. Meaty or something like that? It's like
It was
weird.
about a fast food restaurant, and it was all puppets, but it was like puppet meat. It was just gross.
good old meat puppet.
Ugh. Oh.
That's a good grunge band.
No.
The meat
Meat
puppet.
puppets.
Nick, what's your favorite cartoon?
My favorite cartoon? Like now or like growing up?
Ever.
Ever.
All time.
God,
God.
Nick, answer it.
Too late. Next.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's a good pick.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to pick your favorite cartoon. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would still call like animes and stuff cartoons.
Some people don't, but yeah, they're
I mean,
animated.
They're animated.
So.
It's hard. I mean, Avatar would probably
Avatar.
because that's so good.
Avatar. Yeah.
Watched a lot of Ed, Edd and Eddie.
My mom never let us watch that show because she hated it.
My mom didn't at first, but then I was really persistent about it because that show cracked me up as a kid.
I know.
I like
That
that
was
show.
so good.
I remember being a kid and having shows banned that I just wanted to watch. My parents just hated. And now that
Oh, it made you want to watch them more.
I
Yeah,
have a
absolutely.
5-year-old, I completely understand. It's ridiculous. It's just like, oh, I am not watching that. She's
Yeah.
watching like videos of like this on YouTube of this 12-year-old taking care of baby dolls, and it was the most disturbing thing.
Oh
It's
gosh.
scarier than any horror movie I've ever seen. And she watched 2 videos, and I said, "You need to pick something else."
You're cut off. You're done.
Like, no
That's
way. Because, like, she does, like, voices for the dolls, and oh, it is creepy as
Oh,
shit.
Man.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So,
Honestly, a lot of the kid side of YouTube I find just disturbing.
yeah.
Because there's like,
Oh, kid shows like nowadays are messed up.
yeah,
Uncle Grandpa,
that's hardly a kid show.
that is not, yeah, they fly on the back of a tiger who farts rainbows. Yeah, why not?
Like regular shows.
Yeah, regular
Not-
show was like, it was
not
a kid show.
Friendly cartoon.
It was a kid show, and then they decided, fuck it, no, it's not.
I think regular show was originally designed to be a more mature show. And
Well, isn't
I
it
like regular
Isn't
show a
it
lot.
like the dude who, like, created it, his, like, life story through college?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Except for Told by Birds and Squirrels and
Yeah.
Gumball
Yeah.
Machine.
Like
Benson.
Gumball. Yeah, Benson and Gumball.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite cartoon, Nick? You've had time to think now.
Man,
Oh, my God.
Next.
He-Man.
I didn't watch He-Man.
No. His
I'll try to throw your bones there, Nick.
Sailor Moon?
Solar Moon.
Sailor
Moon. I watched the Dollar Store brand.
That's the one that has Michael Jones from Achievement Hunter in it. He does a voiceover in that one.
Huh.
Sailor Moon, I think.
I
Really?
have no idea.
See,
I would. Think
I only
so.
watched Sailor Moon really because it came on before Dragon Ball Z,
Yep.
and I got home from school, and so I turned on TV and I'd watch Sailor Moon just because I didn't have anything else to do for
It
half
was
an
a
hour.
fairy tale.
Fairy Tale, that's the one
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
So Sailor Moon's pretty old. I think
I like-
Michael was like 10.
Oh.
My,
I get those two mixed up
They're
all the
making like they have DB Dragon Ball Super. They
Yeah.
have Sailor Moon Crystal coming out now. It's
Oh.
like a whole new series. They're all like
Maybe he's gonna be in it. Who
Oh!
knows? Exclusive, heard here, no
Confirmed.
skill required.
like my
We got
favorite
the news.
cartoon. Probably the Justice League Unlimited.
I love that show.
That show was good.
Absolutely, I have them on DVD somewhere around here.
It's on Netflix now too.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? It's fucking amazing. A lot of the DC animated stuff is amazing.
Batman the animated series.
The
is
Adventures of
fucking good.
Superman is really good.
What was the one with? Was it Batman Beyond? He's like got
Old
the
Batman?
Future.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot as well.
Yeah.
That's one I like grew up with. I watched it all the time.
With that like neo-Nazi punk Joker.
Yep.
That apparently the original ending for that show was way too violent to put on TV for kids. 'Cause he's like getting the crap beat out of him and just bleeding. I think you can go on YouTube and find it. But,
I'm sure you can.
But it's messed up.
Y'all ever watch Gargoyles?
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
shit.
that show.
Gargoyles.
The creators of that show have been trying to get that show back on the air for so long.
Don't. It's okay. We don't need it.
Don't ruin it.
It was good. Leave it. Leave it.
I
over
just
there.
Just
remember it
in the
because it came out and they had a macaroni and cheese gargoyles that I always wanted because I thought it was like they didn't have the SpongeBob macaroni when I was a kid. You
That's
didn't
what
get,
I
you
was
didn't get
got.
fun
Dude,
shaped macaroni.
SpongeBob macaroni.
You didn't get the fun shaped macaroni until Gargoyles came out. So that's how I remember that show. I never watched it. What else? Nick, you still don't have a favorite?
You know,
Nick,
I'm
what's your
going to
favorite
go ahead and go
cartoon?
with Futurama.
That's a good one. I like it.
Because I watched,
Good answer.
like, if you talk about shows that I'll watch every episode of up until
The
I think when
Comedy
it
Central
came
one.
back.
Oh, I saw those as well. Those
How
were
many?
good.
It's still really good.
That show got canceled like 3 times, didn't it?
Canceled and brought back.
That show was good. Just
Was-
like Family Guy got canceled originally.
Yeah. Well, Futurama got canceled because it was too expensive.
Yeah.
It cost a shit ton of money to make that movie show.
Yeah, that always went all out.
Family Guy got canceled because it was on Fox, and Fox doesn't know how to fucking put a TV show on without interrupting like the season like 5 times with baseball, football, not
Yeah.
basketball, NASCAR, whatever Fox has got on.
Everything.
Everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah. The Simpsons.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
The Simpsons is I've seen. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of the new ones, but I've seen like the first 10 seasons of that show.
I remember being a kid, and my parents didn't ban me from watching like shit like that, and I could come home from school and watch my cartoons after school, and at 5 o'clock on the local affiliate, they would show 2 episodes back to back, and that's how I watch most of The Simpsons.
Yeah. I watched them mostly on DVD, like years after they came out, because like I wasn't allowed to watch it at the time, because I was still a kid. My parents were kind of strict when it came to TV shows. They didn't let me watch anything on like Adult Swim, which it always made me want to watch it. But like my big one was Family Guy. I always wanted to watch that show because all my friends like 5th grade were talking about Family Guy, and I was like, yeah, me too, guys.
Yeah.
Man, you seen that new Star
Family
Wars?
Guy, huh?
Seen that new Star Wars Family Guy? I'm like, yeah, totally. So I was like, don't you remember this part? I was like, it was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, when I was, I mean, I must have been 15 when I had cable in my room. I started watching Adult Swim because up to that point, the same thing. I wasn't really allowed to watch stuff that was for adults, basically. Which is actually why I never got into The Simpsons, because when I was a kid, it was for like,
Yeah, you couldn't watch it.
young adults and stuff like that, and I just never got into it when I got older.
Well, like, looking at The Simpsons now, I'm like, yeah, The Simpsons is very tame compared to a lot
Compared
of
to some other stuff, yeah.
cartoons. I mean, even Family Guy, I feel like it's a lot more tame than Family Guy.
Well, Family Guy goes out there now just kind of for the
I was
sake of doing
I'm about to
so.
say, you watched
like all
first
they've
season
got.
Family Guy. It's
Well,
like they
I
had
don't-
some bad stuff, but it was mostly just kind of like just adult sitcom humor.
Well, like a lot of that stuff changed because of South Park.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was in middle school during South Park where, like, they banned T-shirts.
South Park just kept pushing it
and they
and pushing
banned
it.
any talk of the show. Like, you could not talk about it. You
Could make a reference.
Yeah. Like, Kenny was on. Everybody had the shirt with Kenny getting eaten by rats. And our Cartman, it was like a plain white shirt with Cartman.
Yeah.
And, like, that was, that changed how, like, adult animation kind of worked.
Those guys
There
are
wasn't a
geniuses.
lot of it.
Yeah. And when you watch South Park now, it has this gross out humor, but it's completely, like,
It's making more commentary than it used
they've,
to.
Oh, yeah,
they've
absolutely.
Social
reimagined
commentary.
themselves so much, like 2 or 3 times now during the series. Because you had it's an episode, then the next episode would happen, and then you got to this point where it became like, oh, this happened in the world today. What's South Park going to say about it on Wednesday?
Yeah.
And now it's like South Park's doing like season-long
storylines.
arcs.
Fucking
Yeah,
PC
continuity.
Principal.
PC Principal, fucking amazing. like,
Oh,
It's gonna be in the next South Park game. The
Lord,
Fractured
Lord.
Butthole.
Yeah, Fractured Butthole. Nick, can you say that game's title? Nick doesn't cuss, so can you say butthole?
I can say butthole.
Say a cuss word.
Say a cuss
For the
word.
viewers.
No.
All right, so we plan on doing some sort of game at the end of these podcasts, like trivia or something. So my thought is, if Nick loses, he's
Yeah.
going to have
Oh.
to say a cuss-filled tirade on the podcast.
Ooh, a nice rant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just
That's a good
every
one.
cuss word we can imagine. He gets a list and he has to throw them in, and he can tirade about whatever he wants, but he has to use these words.
Oh, we gotta get all of them too.
But then everybody else has to have something in case they lose that they're going to feel uncomfortable with. But Nick I've seen Nick cuss once, and he had a panic attack afterwards. He told someone to go. Told someone to go fuck themselves,
Nice,
and then
Nick.
proceeded to have a panic attack. It was the most amazing thing ever.
That guy might really go home and fuck himself, guys.
Is that when that guy threw the muffins at you?
No, that was
No.
when he just punched the wall.
That was when I almost punched him.
He was like,
Oh.
he was doing dishes or something, and the dude just kept fucking with him. And he's like, say something, Nick. Say something. I was like, Nick, tell him to go fuck himself. And Nick, like, go fuck yourself. And I was just like,
really dramatic.
You're a badass, Nick.
it took every bit of his will to say that. It was hilarious.
See,
Good
that,
for you, Nick.
That happened to me,
Good for you.
but in 4th grade.
See,
So.
so I used to cuss in like 3rd and 4th grade. I cussed like all the time. That's when it was cool to do it. You
Peaked
know?
early.
Yeah.
And in 5th grade, I started realizing people were doing it to be cool, and I was like, it sounds really stupid.
Nick doesn't want to be cool. Trust me, that matches his personality
And so
to a T.
I started realizing it was like, man, that's really stupid. When like, because it looks dumb when like kids are. Honestly, it looks dumb when kids. And so
It does.
I kind of realized like, oh, that's how I look too. So I stopped, and then I guess there's just some mental block that I put in place there when I was like
And now you look
11 or
stupid
12,
because
and
you
now I
won't
just
cuss.
can't. Now I just can't do it.
Because you're an adult, and it's
Man,
gross.
you're such a
Right.
freaking butthole.
Yeah.
You freaking butthole. You're a grown ass man, Nick. Okay, I know a dude who became a priest who used to didn't cuss, and the last time I saw him, he cussed like a sailor.
He got it all out.
So, and this dude's a priest, so Nick, you're all right if that's your whatever you're holding. Just say a cuss word. So that's gonna be your penalty if you lose.
And it's
We'll
not
figure
a-
out the rest as
It
we
was
go.
something else.
It's gonna be rigged for Nick to
I'm
lose.
kidding. Thank God. I don't want to do anything.
Oh.
Nick can do it all.
Can I just get tased instead?
Sure,
You'd rather get
absolutely.
tased?
I would rather get tased.
Are you kidding
Have you
me?
ever been
You're
tased?
full of shit.
No.
I've been tased by a dog collar, and that shit sucks. So I don't want to be tased.
I will taste the shit out of you.
Literally, there will be poop in your pants.
That would be
You're not
hilarious.
supposed to go that far.
That's good content.
Good content, just like a video of Nick shitting himself. Like, Nick, he's just in a corner crying, and you see like a wet spot starting to appear at the bottom of his pants. Just, oh, that's not dog food gravy.
Dog food grade.
That's what I thought it was originally.
Yeah.
All right, Willie's drunk, everybody.
Shit. But yeah. So we have the first losing thing. Someone have to, whatever. We'll figure out what it is. But Nick's gonna have to say a cuss-filled tirade if he loses, and we'll figure out the next person's next time. So I think we've done enough for the day. This has been the No Skill Required podcast. If you liked what you heard, like, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, Twitter. I think we got a Snapchat now. I think I saw
Yes,
that.
we have a Snapchat now, everybody.
Oh, shit.
Thanks. Peace
Yeah.
out.
All right, see you.
See ya.
Bye.
Woo.